Thank you for coming by Tori Magoo 44. Today's the 22nd of March, 2013. We're rolling along. It's almost the end of March, believe it or not. We're coming up on Easter, which is coming up. Today, I'm going to be continuing to talk to you about the trap of Scientology and the cheese in the middle. And what is it that attracts someone to stay within Scientology? I left out of two key things that happened way, way in the beginning of Scientology. Remember, I told you about the life improvement courses that they have. Those don't really, I don't think they include these. But once you're on the communication course, on the bridge to total freedom, these two things definitely come into play. Basically, in 69, when I got in, they had the HASI membership, which was the Hubbard Association of Scientologists International. It was basically a thing saying, I'm a Scientologist, right? You pay $500, now you have a lifetime membership. Okay. Now, in 1984, a bunch of people, this is right before Miscavige took over, and a bunch of people came up with, and I'll put a link here with Wikipedia defining it, and even Scientologist thing on what they say it is. But it was, they decided to come up with the International Association of Scientologists. That's the IAS. Now, what happened really is it was a huge meeting. It was mandatory. We all had to go. You come in, and they're like, that's it. HASI memberships is over. You're now all going to become IAS members. It's non-negotiable. If you want to do any of the Bridge to Total Freedom, which is training or auditing, or some people do both, any one of those services within the Church of Scientology, you have to be a member of IAS. It's not something that you can, bid about or talk to them about, or, oh, I don't have any money. Too bad. Come back when you have the money for IAS first. First, you have to be an IAS member. And that's its own triangle. It's a triangle of, a lot of people start out here with just a basic IAS. I think it's $1,000, $1,500, but quickly it moves up. And the patron meritorious, I think, was, I forget what it is. It's like $250,000. And then now it's up to, I think, 5 million. It's just outrageous amounts of money. Now, why are people giving more money? Because they really and honestly believe that the Church of Scientology is helping mankind through the IAS. They don't know, in fact, that money that they're donating is being used in legal cases to pay off these attorneys. That's a lot of what the money's being used for. If it was really used for the aims of Scientology, the world would be a better place, wouldn't it? That's how I got my money back years ago. I said, no, you never delivered what you promised. I want my money back. And they gave me my money back. But then quickly somebody realized, wait a minute, we're going to be broke if we give everybody back their IAS money. So they stopped doing that. I still say, right, if you paid for IAS, I still say continue hounding them because they owe you that money. They didn't deliver what they promised. Okay, so there's IAS. That's a scam in itself. And they're constantly pounding people for more money. This is flat out donations. This is no courses, no auditing, nothing that you get for it. It's just flat out donations. And they're constantly pounding you for more money for the IAS. Okay, the other thing, I've showed you this before, but it's a key one, is keeping Scientology working. Now this is just a little flip chart thing with some things that I have from years ago. But the real keeping Scientology working is, I think, a 6-page policy letter. And it talks about how, number one is having the correct technology. Number two is knowing the technology. Number three is knowing it's correct. Number four is teaching correctly the correct technology. 5 is applying the technology. 6 is seeing the technology is correctly applied. 7 is hammering out of existence incorrect technology. 8 is knocking out incorrect applications. 9 is closing the door on any possibility of incorrect technology. And 10 is closing the door on incorrect applications. Now, Hubbard says, really, most organizations went down because 7 to 10 were not applied. That's where they get into knowledge reports, where you have to start ratting on other people, right? And if you see they're not applying the tech right, you've got to write it up. And this goes on and on and on. It's unbelievable. Then you're sent to ethics. Now, depending on what comes about from it, you either have to do some lower conditions on something that they may have seen that you did that wasn't okay. Like for Sea Org members, they can't have sex unless they're married, period. So if somebody saw them even kissing, they got to write up a KR and send it in. Jenna, in her book, gives a great example of that, where she got in trouble just because she saw some people flirting. That was it. And she didn't write it up. So she got into a lower condition because somebody else ratted on her saying she was there. She saw it. She didn't say anything. It's awful. I mean, for a church, this is a church. It isn't really a church, just so you know, and this is why it isn't a church. And this isn't really great on telling you how it's the cheese in the trap, because all this is pretty crummy, but they make it seem really important. I mean, the IAS, when you get in Scientology, it's very, very important. And wow, this is so and so, and he's patron meritorious, which is tons of money. Most people can't afford it. But you're always being promoted to move up in the IAS, so that that you're contributing more, so that you're helping mankind more. They never ask, well, what's IAS done? Anything. Now they'll say, oh, we're volunteering over in Bosnia. They've always got little things that they'll say they're doing, and maybe they are even doing them. Maybe they're over there volunteering. But what is their volunteering stuff? I used to be a volunteer minister. It's basically doing assists, which are just little different things. It's a whole nother thing I can tell you about, but they're just little things that are supposed to make you either feel better, or if someone's drunk, to get them stable, or if they have a backache, to help that, different things like that. The real intention is to get the people over into Scientology and into the church, so that they're doing services. That's really what the volunteer ministers do. They can say, no, that isn't true. I would have said that's not true. I would have said, no way, that isn't it at all. But it is. It really is. It always is. That's what they want you to do. Get them in, get them on the bridge, because people in really believe if you're on the bridge, you're going to be better. And see, as long as you have that belief, then you're going to keep going along with the rest of the sheep. Now, KSW, again, Keeping Scientology Working, how would anybody think that is better or good? Well, if you really get into Scientology and you think, and when you're surrounded by all these people, again, it's kind of a mind control thing where they're all doing great. That's why I say watch the Truman Show. It's the fastest way to understand mind control. But it's kind of like, they're all doing terrific. Why aren't you? And so you're sort of like, well, okay, I'll try this. And then the pressure's on you. You're having really big wins on it, aren't you? And you're like, yeah, I am. Because you don't want to be like the big black sheep that isn't having wins. So yeah, I'm having wins. And plus, in your own mind, you think you are. You start assigning things that aren't even really, I realized when I got out, a lot of the things that I said I got from Scientology, I really got from my parents way before I ever got in, or, from just growing up. But, when you're in, everything is because of Scientology and L. Ron Hubbard. Thank God he's around. He's really helped us. Oh my goodness. If it wasn't for Ron, I wouldn't be able to do X, Y, and Z. So that's why Keeping Scientology Working is important, because Ron is really making your life better. Now, is it really? Not really. The bottom of the line is, if you're in and lurking, it's true. It isn't really making your life better. You think it is. You got your mindset on it. It is. It is better. It is. It is. I'm not talking to you. I'm not listening to you. It is better. No, I'm not reading those books. No. No, I don't want to read those books. They're antheta. They're just, I don't need that stuff. I'm better. I'm really, really, really doing better. Look at all my friends. We're all doing better. We're all doing great. Can't you see this? Why are you guys bothering us? Go away. Look at how good we are. We are better. We're happier. Can't you see this? See, we're really happy. Look, we're smiling. We're really, really doing better. We are. Our group is really surviving better. No, don't talk to anybody else about it. Don't talk to those people. Don't talk to Tori. Oh, God, no. Don't watch her videos, because she didn't make it. She was this. She was that. Blah, blah, blah. That. Not think about it. What kind of group has to do that kind of thing? I mean, if you really, don't talk to these people. You have to keep pounding to yourself how great you are. You've got to have the big photographs of L. Ron Hubbard all around everywhere. You have to be that clap, 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 yay, hip, hip, hooray at the events. I used to hate that when I was at the event. When we were OT7s, we used to sit up in the balcony so we didn't have to stand up because everyone has to stand up. And it'd be like, oh, God, no, not again. So we'd sit up in the balcony and watch everyone else stand up. Oh, I know now they've probably got, the Sea Org is up in this balcony to make sure that none of the public can be in the balcony. But anyway, there you go. So that's IAS and Keeping Scientology Working are two key things right when you get in. They're not really, as you're watching, you're probably going, that's not much cheese. It's not real tasty to me. It isn't. But it is a control mechanism of the trap that definitely you have to be part of it, which makes you part of IAS. Now you're a Scientologist. Now you're with us, right? And Keeping Scientology Working, same thing. You are part of Keeping Scientology Working. You're responsible for it. We're counting on you. I love Ray Minoff. He says that. I'm counting on you. So I always say that to him. Hey, I'm counting on you to do it. Because it's like, you're counting on me to totally change the tech like you have. No, I'm not going to. Because he completely changed stuff around to where it's really crummy. And then said, I'm counting on you to do it. Count on yourself. You're in the hole, moron. And you're in the hole because you kept doing the things that you shouldn't have done when you knew you shouldn't have done them. So don't do things that you know are not right, no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing. If it feels crummy, it is crummy. Get out of there. I don't care if you're in Scientology, another cult, an abusive relationship. It doesn't matter. Do not stay where you know you're not happy. If you're not happy, it isn't because of X, Y, and Z. It's because you're not happy. You're not you know how you are when you're around people where they support you, it's supportive, you're doing a good thing, you feel good. It's just a natural thing. It isn't like people have to kiss your ass all the time. It's just you feel good. You're around a supportive environment. You've got a good group. You're doing good things. When you're doing crummy things with people that really don't care about you, they just care about themselves, they're always kind of putting you down because they got to try to inflate themselves. It's kind of this shitty environment. You always feel like crap. You go home, you're like, I don't even know why I'm doing this. But you keep talking yourself into it because you're in this abusive cult. And I'm saying to you, it's nothing more than walking across the street. Open the door, the nearest door, and walk out. They will not stop you. You think they will, but they won't. And yeah, maybe you'll lose some of your friends. Okay, I lost all my friends. Okay. And I lost my husband of 27 years. Yep. And you know what? It was the greatest thing I ever did. And just to answer a couple of questions, someone asked me, what is a hill 10? A hill 10 is like a military term for where you've got to, get up a hill really fast and do it really, really fast. In Scientology, it means it's an emergency. You have to get it done right now. Everything else, this is more important than everything else. So they always are running these, it's a hill 10. We've got to get this done. It's funny, really, when you think it's a church. Really? Okay, another one said the same thing. They liked emergency because it does kind of show how that keeps things going. And it's true for any abusive relationship. They've got to keep you hustling along, moving, not thinking. Because if you're thinking, you might wake up. All right. Someone asked about my friend who's out. It's really only one of my friends. It's not like a lot of my friends. None of my friends that are in are talking to me, obviously. But I'm hoping they'll wake up. And the one friend who left, I think she still has some family members who are in, and that's why she's not talking to me. Just, I understand it. I do. And she knows I love her. And so there you go on that. And someone else asked about my self-improvement books that I love, and I'll do a separate video on that. So there you go. If you're out, I hope this helped you a little bit. If you're in, don't pay any more for IAS. It's a gigantic scam, and they will not give you back your money anymore. And for Keeping Scientology Working, really, you have to do, come on. If it was so great, why do you have to even have Keeping Scientology Working? Why did Hubbard have so much concern about keeping this organization going? I mean, if it's good, it's going to keep going. I think it's just interesting. And that you got a rat on people. Really creepy. So anyway, I'll put a couple links here. There you go. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. This is a beautiful Friday here in Los Angeles. It's sunny, it's pretty, and I hope wherever you are, you're having a wonderful weekend. All right, there you go. Peace out. I love you. Bye.